Are you ready, Harris?
Richmond, I said, are you
Gucci slides are back.
ready?
Gucci slides are back.
Then, for the thousands in attendance, and for the millions watching at home, we present to you
The Shoe Show. Should we just use that as the intro?
No.
I'm down. We're gonna use that as the intro. Welcome to The Shoe Show. This is 2017, our very first episode. Oh, by the way, this is actually episode 17 of the entire The Shoe Show series. Episode 17. So we shot 16 episodes before this. I think there's about 10 or 11 episodes or so that's been released. There's a few that hasn't been released. But in terms of sequential order, this is actually episode 17. So I think that's kind of special. Episode 17 to start off 2017. Now, originally this episode was going to come out a lot later, probably in like March or April. I was planning like an early spring release. But this guy over here just kept bugging me. He said, Harry, you have to talk about, the Yeezys. You got to talk about the sneakers. And when we first started the Shoe Show, I was super adamant about not going into sneaker territory because this is something I knew very little about. I had zero knowledge about the sneaker game, about sneakerhead culture. I wanted to primarily focus on dress shoes, designer sneakers. But here, my friend Haris today, he's the expert. So he's going to come in and give us all a wealth of knowledge about this area and this topic, because if you like it or not, we see people lining up on the streets early in the morning. We see people selling them, making a ton of money just by swapping sneakers swapping sneaker for sneaker and sneaker
for cash, sneaker for sneaker.
Yeah. Sneaker for like
anything really.
Like lease a car.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, so this here is Haris Hakeem, a good friend of mine ever since elementary school. So this is the first time of him on the show. Why don't you want to start off, tell us a little about yourself?
Yeah, I'll introduce myself. Well, in high school, my friend actually brought me into the sneaker game, and this is in grade 12, so I skipped a lot of sleep to just buy sneakers regularly, I'd say. They're quite expensive. It's like $230, I would say, a pair. It was like 200 to 230. I can't really remember. But then the resale is what is really important about these shoes. The resale makes everything about these shoes. It's what makes the culture. These shoes right here, these are called the Yeezy Boost 350 version 2s. I bought them for retail for about 330 plus tax and everything. And right when I walk out the store with them, it costs about, I would say, $750 to $900.
It's like the opposite of a car.
Yeah.
You leave with the store when the price goes up.
And funny story is, right when I walked out of Foot Locker at Metrotown, somebody offered me $700 for these shoes. And I declined right away.
You could have flipped 100% plus more.
Yeah, it's 200%. How much profit is that?
100%.
Oh, it's double.
Yeah, shift.
Double the profit. Yeah.
Wait, if you buy it for 350 and then it's 700, that means is that 200% profit or is that's 100% profit, right?
I'm not good at math.
Because 200% profit would be like 350 times 2. That means you only made 350. You didn't make 700 off it. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
So that's, I think, the most coolest part about them, and that's why everyone takes their time to line up at like an Adidas store, Foot Locker, Haven. What was the other one? Livestock. They take their time. Literally, they take like an hour or two just to line up for shoes. So at the end, I think it's worth it because right when you walk out with them, they cost more than what you paid for them. So why wouldn't you take the opportunity to sign up for one of them,
Wow.
That's just my thought.
So tell me this, okay, so you in high school, so we know each other for how many years?
A lot.
Since when?
Too many to count.
Grade 3, I came to Richmond. So that was 2003. So 13 years. No, 14 years. Almost 14 years now, going on 14 years. So tell me about yourself. Growing up, were you like into sneaker culture? Were you aware of it?
Yeah, I love wearing sneakers. Like I love wearing like the best sneakers. Funny story is, I'll explain this. It's one of the funniest stories ever. I got my hands on Converse Dwayne Wade's. I think it was by Converse.
I remember that. Was it a black and white one?
Yeah. These were the sickest pair of shoes I've ever had in my entire life. I literally bought them and I brought the shoe box with me to school so I could put them in so it wouldn't get dirty when I played dirty sports like soccer or basketball. So that was crazy. And then what happened was somebody was cutting the grass near the basketball hoop, and then what happened? It was a big.
And they cut your shoe.
Yeah, it was a tractor. It was one of those big, like, it was a huge tractor.
Yeah.
He mowed around it once, and then in my head, I had a feeling it would happen actually. I don't know why I didn't grab the shoes, but I had a feeling he would come back one more time around and pick up the shoes with him. And guess what happened? Guess.
He picked up the shoes.
He picked up the shoes and they got mowed down.
Oh.
So,
how did you feel?
I cried. I honestly cried. I cried.
I would burst out. You know, like back then, I wouldn't cry over shoes, but I know that feeling. I would cry over.
I guess I could call myself like just a big fan of the sneaker game. I always love sneakers. So
how did you? So in grade 11, 12, you got into, of course, like, is that when the original Yeezy came out?
These came out. The original Yeezys came out a long time ago. I can't put a year on it because.
How many has there been? So there's like, I know there's the Turtle Dove, the Moon Rock, the black one.
That's just with Adidas. Also, Kanye West was with Nike before he was with Adidas. So
I didn't even know that.
He made a ton of shoes with them, and then he decided that Nike wasn't the right brand for him, and he didn't want to represent Nike, so he decided to move on with Adidas. And I researched a little bit about it, and I felt like they were not letting him be as creative as he wanted to, so then he needed a different platform to bring his creativity in, and then that's where we get the Yeezy boosts and all the Adidas hype.
So were these designed by Kanye?
Yeah, I would say.
Like collaborated with like Adidas
yeah.
and yeah, true.
This one I just won in the raffle. These ones came out February 11th, 2017. It's called the Bread Yeezys.
Oh, this is my size.
Yeah, it's my size too.
I'll share dress shoes with you too.
Should I take them off?
Yeah, let's see these. I want to see these. I want to know why. So you bought them for how much?
$330 plus tax. It's
$330. Okay.
$300 without tax. So.
Oh, with tax is $330.
Yeah.
Okay. Whoa.
Such good packaging and everything.
Oh shit. What? Wow. So this is literally like that shoe, but without the red going across.
Yeah.
Wow. So, and this resells for how much?
$750 to $900, I would say.
Did you wear these yet?
No, I haven't. And about that, if you wear them, there's a thing called DS. It's called Deadstock, where it means the shoe is not worn yet. So then, when you advertise your shoe, you're supposed to put Deadstock, and that means that the shoe isn't worn yet. So it means it's basically brand new, right? Nobody's put their foot in there. It doesn't smell like anything.
So these are Deadstock.
Yeah, Deadstock.
So no one's worn it. No one's. Wow.
So you can get the full resale price for it.
So I can't put these on then?
No, you can't. I haven't even put them on, unfortunately.
Can I put those on later?
Maybe, yes.
Okay.
I've already put them on in the gym. So.
Oh, okay. So you were in the gym?
Yeah.
So those resale value, what goes down?
Yeah, it goes down. Yeah.
Wow. This is quite.
I always state like the condition of the shoe and everything. That's also important. Honesty.
Tell us about this, like the sole and the boost.
Well, there are special like indicators on the shoe that makes the shoe legit, because there's a lot of people that will put fakes out on the market just to make an extra buck, and I feel that's so wrong because of people like me, like real sneaker fans who love wearing shoes, especially made by like Kanye West, the person who wanted to inspire people with his kicks shoes, Yeezys. And my idea was thanks.
I'll hold the other one. Hold this one.
My idea was to wear them.
Is that the right shoe? Yeah, here, I'll hold the right shoe.
Left.
The right one's worth more.
Kanye West wanted to inspire people with his shoes, and I want to inspire people with his shoes through my platform of what I am doing, which is fitness, and I wanted to be a WWE wrestler, for those of you that don't know.
And okay, so this is where you gotta explain to me, right? So every time one of these things come out, I see massive lineups, and then not just lineups, like on the internet too. Like I see like people posting on Instagram, Facebook groups, like everyone's talking about, oh, he gave me a size in this, size in that. I see Craigslist ads. Why? Like why? Why all that for a shoe?
Shoes are so important to our culture now. It's like crazy that people would miss a day of work or like line up for 2 or 3 days just to get their hands on a pair of like Yeezys or like Ultra Boost, NMDs.
Well, what are these shoes? Ultra Boost and NMDs?
These are different like different versions of running shoes. I'd say that Adidas released. It's like, shit, you put me on the spot.
It's okay. These ones, like the ones I'm wearing, like these guys. So these are what NMDs, right?
Here you go. Here, these are NMDs. These are just different versions of shoes that Adidas releases.
So I wear these shoes because they're so damn comfortable.
Yeah, they are. They are.
I never knew, to be honest, when the first pair of Boost that one was Ultra Boost. It was the Wolf Gray. Was it Wolf Gray? It was a gray one, the version 1 of the gray ones. Reason I bought it was because I thought they were actually kind of ugly when I first saw them.
Yeah.
But then it was my friend Ziggy. He, some of you might know Ziggy. My friend Ziggy says, "Hey Harry, come over here to try these on." He took my feet, he grabbed my feet, he put in a pair of shoes, and then I stepped down on the ground. It was the most comfortable thing in the world. Like this thing is like you imagine like crawling in under your covers on a cold night, and it's so warm. It just hugs your feet, and you feel so warm underneath it. So that's why I fell in love with these shoes. And then when the NMD came out, I didn't know like there was such a hype around these guys either. I just picked up a pair, and a lot of people were telling me that this has resale value.
It does actually have a market too. There's also limited releases of the NMDs, which most of them are like not that limited. They're like pretty general releases, I would say. So like a lot of the general audience can get their hands on a pair, but there's like limited releases when they do collaborations with Bape, if you know them.
Yeah.
Bape, yeah. Well, I lined up for that shoe for a day, and then what happened was, I'll give you this back.
Thank you.
There's a couple of people who were just angry that they basically weren't in line because there's such limited pairs where it's like, I don't know the exact number, but it's like not more than 30 pairs inside like an Adidas store. So you can see where people would be disappointed just not being able to get in line to have a pair. And then all of a sudden, like, violence erupted and there's like a whole bunch of chaos just happening, and then they sort of canceled that release, and then they made it into a raffle, which I didn't even take part in. So I was disappointed in that because I was supposed to get that Bape pair, and that was a really nice pair I wanted, so.
Okay, so you said people fought, like there was a riot over shoes.
Yeah, over shoes. This culture is huge.
Over sneakers.
It was the night before, so we still had one night to camp out. So could you believe that? Like I was already done one day, and I had one more day to camp out. And then
So you can't. So the shoe was released on what day was the shoe released on?
the shoe was gonna release Saturday morning.
When did you camp out?
I was there early, bright and early, at around like 7 in the morning that Friday, I think.
So you were there Friday 24 hours before?
24 hours, yeah.
Is that normal?
This is the first time that actually happened to me. Every time I lined up, I usually got my hands on a pair. I've never been unsuccessful at grabbing a pair, I would say. So this is the first time, and it was the biggest release ever because just for that Bape NMD shoe, I don't know what the retail was, but it wouldn't be more than $300. The resale for that shoe itself was starting at like $1,200, $1,400, and it went all the way up to like $1,800, I would say.
But wow. So, by the way, that's
the history between
someone's paying rent with that money. Okay, yeah, someone's literally getting a car payment now. With this, so going back to that lineup thing, you line up Friday morning for a Saturday morning release.
Yeah.
Do you usually line up 24 hours before?
No, I want to share with everyone. So why this collaboration is so important, because Bape is so limited to where there's only like 2 or 3 stores in the world. One is in New York, one is in Japan or Tokyo. I might be wrong, but
You know, it was in Hong Kong probably.
I don't know where the other one is. So, but you see how limited this store is. So once they collaborate with somebody as big as Adidas, it's just worldwide. It's crazy. It's phenomenal. In New York, they canceled the release. Vancouver, they canceled the release. So what's left? Like, you know, they had to raffle off everything.
So, and that's why you lined up 24 hours before.
Yeah.
Because, so usually, let's say for example, let's say like if an Ultra Boost release, NMD release, or one of these guys, the YEEZY 350 release, how early do you go?
Well, good question that you asked. Good thing that you asked that actually. It's because these Yeezys don't have a first come first serve anymore. It's because lines get so ridiculous and it ends up with people just loitering, bringing tents and everything, and it's like sort of disrespectful. Not really disrespectful, but like it's looked down on in our city.
So people literally camp out like a tent.
Yeah. People will bring chairs, tents, food.
But don't they do that for like the Apple iPhone release?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, so.
But they're not allowed to do it for like shoe release.
I don't know. I really don't know. It doesn't make sense, right?
Okay,
it's like, why bother the city with, I don't know.
No, I'll tell you a story that one time I do remember seeing a lineup this was in the summer. I think it was around maybe June or something like that. I was at Richmond Center, and then it was you, a few of our friends. I think you guys were waiting for, was it a Jordan? It might have been a Jordan.
Definitely was a Jordan.
Yeah, I think someone came to take a bunch of names and stuff. I remember we left the line, we put our chairs there, or you guys left the line. You left your chairs there. We went and ate some food or something. We came back and there was a bunch of other guys in line and they moved your chairs and then you guys almost got in a fight because of that.
The story behind that was we were lining up and then Foot Locker came out to hand us the tickets. There are these little tickets that said the size number of the shoe and what shoe we wanted so that we could come in the morning and pick them up without having to line up for an entire night. So they saved us the trouble.
Oh.
But then these guys did not know that.
Yeah.
So then we wanted to save them the trouble too. So there was just like a little mix up. It wasn't like a fight or anything. I would say it was just a little confusion.
Some of those guys were ready to pounce on you. I was ready to back you up. Let's talk about the monetary side of these guys, because obviously, like we said earlier, $330 with tax for a pair of these, and the resale is how much?
$750 to $900.
900. So you're making good few $100, a good $600, let's say, off of a pair, or almost $600.
Let's just say a guaranteed $500.
So, on average, how much do you think a sneakerhead makes a month? I don't know if a month is the right way of calculating this. Obviously, there's interval releases, but I know a lot of people do this as a full-time thing, and then people actually for example, do you work?
Exactly. No, I don't. Not at the moment. Right now, I took all the time off, and I quit my job to focus on. I'm trying to become a professional wrestler, and I wanted to take the time off to train and research and evaluate myself so I can better myself every day to become successful in what I want to do. So
I like that. It's like the Conor McGregor mentality.
Yeah.
I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but I read that Conor McGregor, while he was training, he didn't have time to work because he had to train all day. And
there's a lot of sacrifices you have to make, and I've made a lot, definitely.
Okay. So this is your primary income source right now.
Yeah.
So this is feeding you.
Yeah.
This is do you pay rent or a car or anything like that?
No, I'm very fortunate enough to have parents who pay for my education, if you want to call it, my house, food.
Lucky son of a bitch.
Very lucky that we live in Canada, yes. And I'm thankful for it every day. So
this is your primary. So if you don't mind me asking, how much money have you made off of just selling shoes? Reselling shoes.
Reselling shoes.
Yeah.
I would say more. I won't say the exact number because I would have to, but more.
I don't want Revenue Canada to investigate you.
More than a couple thousand for sure. Absolutely,
that's good. That's really good. Oh my god, that's very solid. And you've been doing this for how long?
Since grade 12, but it's been on and off for me. See, the thing is, you get what you put in. So if you want to hustle shoes all day, you're gonna make so much money, right? But if you just want to do it on the side, you're not gonna make as much as money. Like I said, you have to line up or do raffles. You gotta sacrifice to make more money, I would say.
Yeah.
So there comes at a point in time where I must make a choice if I want to train or if I want to make money.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's difficult to make that sacrifice to go train instead of making $1 to buy extra things, or
But this is a part-time gig for you, super part-time.
Yeah.
And a couple $1,000, that's a really good profit you made. A lot of people work part-time jobs. Yeah.
We've been blessed by Kanye West.
Oh my god. So with now, I understand that there, like you said earlier, a point you said that if people do take it seriously, you get out what you put into it, right?
Yeah.
I read that there's this was a couple years ago, that in New York, there's a group of kids, they kind of formed like their own like sneaker stock exchange thing with like Jordans and rare sneakers and Yeezys and stuff. And then they hold this thing at like I think it's like a hotel ballroom, and they spend an entire weekend just trading sneakers to each other.
Sneaker conventions.
Yeah.
We have a lot of those in Vancouver too.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard that there's one kid at the New York one, he made $14K in a weekend.
That's very possible, yeah. Very possible. Easily possible with shoes, yeah.
But so how, like, so that's realistic, like, for people to do? Like,
these are just like, these are considered pretty general release too. Like, if you go to the really limited shoes, these things go up to like 10,000 a pair. Like, I'm not saying it's like Yeezys or anything, but the Red Octobers, if you know them, it's with Nike actually. Those are like $3,000 to $4,000 on eBay.
Is it a summary?
The Red Octobers, bro.
No, let's talk about the summary, man. Anyway, so like back to the whole like monetary thing. There's this one kid, I think his Instagram is Benjamin Kicks or something like that. Do you know the guy that like supplies shoes to like all the rappers on the?
I was just about to talk about that.
Yeah, tell me about him.
Well, like in the street version, it's called the plug. It's basically the plug to like the sneaker game. Yeah. So, like all these famous guys or like celebrities or people who are.
So a plug is like a supplier.
Yeah, the supplier basically, and these guys.
Is that like a drug term? Like.
I don't know. I don't do drugs. I don't sell drugs. I sell kicks.
It could be interchangeable, right?
Yeah.
Okay, man. Back to the plug. Yeah.
Anyways, these guys would buy just a shitload of sneakers for a lower price for wholesale, I would say. They'll just buy in a big bulk, these sneakers in a big bulk for a cheaper price, and then they would get them at a cheaper price because they're buying them in such a big bulk, right? So then they have the money to invest into these sneakers, and then later on these sneakers will be sold for a higher price. So then let's say they'll buy it for like, in bulk, let's say they'll buy like 20 pairs for like 650. But then and they're DS too, so they're Deadstock, not worn. And then, so then now they bought
650 what?
Dollars.
For 20 pairs?
Yeah, no, like for like each. $650 each for 20 pairs.
But that's above retail price.
Yeah, it is above retail. But here's the kick, the kick. Now you have 20 pairs of Yeezys that you bought at a price of $650. Now, he's gonna take these Yeezy, turn them back around and resell them for a price of $800. The way that the market works is every city sort of has a different range, I would say, market range for these shoes. Like in the United States, it would be a little bit more expensive, I'm not sure.
Based on the city?
Yeah, based on the city, yeah, so
like LA, New York, like these are big hubs for.
Yeah. Every city has like, they're all close ranges, you know, but it's a little different.
Okay.
Every city has like a little difference.
Is it based on the demand of each city?
The demand, yeah, and
like for example, like I can imagine that LA is gonna have a higher demand for Yeezys compared to like I don't know, like Chattanooga, Tennessee, or something.
Yeah. And it's on the quantity too. Yeah. So if a city only gets like 24 pairs, a lot more people are gonna want them because there's only 24 pairs, right? True. So yeah, you gotta.
Okay, so back to the Benjamin Kicks, this kid. So he buys them in bulk. How much? So you said you can buy 20 pairs for $650 each. So how do you, like, if I were to do that, like if I want to do it today, how do I just contact Adidas? Like how do I?
No, they're really limited. So once Adidas raffles off that pair, these shoes sell out in like every retail store in like literally less than a second. So the only way you can get this pair in particular is through raffle. So you have to go to a store for your chance to win a pair. You can't buy the pair right away. You have to win the pair so you can buy it off of Adidas, Haven, Livestock, or Foot Locker. And if I missed any, I'm sorry. Yeah, so.
The international, this is just for Vancouver.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, international, you guys are going like weird shoe stores.
Definitely.
I shouldn't say weird. This is a shoe show.
And also there's stores like Flight Club that.
I know Flight Club.
Yeah, they sell these shoes at a resale price. So they sell these shoes at like a $850 market value. So they don't even sell it for like the retail value, they'll sell it for the resale value.
So is this gonna be like stamps, like down the road? Like people are gonna collect them, gonna resell them, they're gonna grow in value?
Definitely, yeah. I feel they're gonna grow in value because they're so limited, right? They're not gonna come out again, I feel, so.
So in time for, if you keep the shoe for 10 years, do you feel like it's still gonna have a high resale?
I feel the value will go up, but you can never be 100% sure, right? So.
True. So the idea is to be able to dump them in a short amount of time for the highest price possible.
Yeah, sort of like stocks.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about Adidas and so what's your fascination? Why not Nikes? Like I grew up, I love Nikes. Like I grew up with Nikes, everything, like basketball shoes, runners. Yeah, I just think like, first of all, when Adidas comes out with a basketball shoes, I don't believe in it because I don't think they know basketball well enough. Same with Adidas football cleats.
That's a fair opinion, right? Because Nike has all these superstars, right?
Yeah.
So
I look at a perspective is that like Adidas, because Adidas is traditionally a German company, right? It's like they understand the football, soccer very well.
Yeah,
they do that really well. But when it comes to basketball and baseball and American football, it's such a North American thing, and then I feel like Nike just has such a good grasp of that, not only culturally, but the technology and the understanding of it. Yeah. So like when Adidas comes out with like a basketball shoe, like I'm not buying into it. Like I don't believe in it as much as if it's Nike. But what led you into this whole Adidas culture and all that?
As a kid, I grew up liking Adidas. I think I was so like fond of the three stripes, I would say. It's like when I looked at them, I felt like a Ferrari. I felt like running. I don't know. It's sort of weird. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, I could relate to that. And also just by like Kanye West moving to Adidas was so big for the culture that the way he inspires people is like never seen before. I think he's like a genius because he killed the hip hop game, and then when people thought he couldn't sell sneakers or couldn't design or create sneakers, he proved everyone wrong by creating Yeezys, and look what happened to these. These are worth more than what you get them for. So that is unbelievable. So I think that's the craziest thing ever, and that'll inspire me till the day I die. So,
so it's deep.
Yeah.
What do you want to do with the sneaker game down the road, like in the future? Like, do you want to start your own like distribution chain? Do you want to like?
A dream of mine would be to personally work with Kanye West, because I feel he wanted to inspire people through his shoes, and I want to inspire people wearing his shoes through the platforms that I do, which is wrestling, fitness, and running, whatever I'm capable of doing, right? So I think that's pretty unique too.
So you want to be like, for example, when you get into the WWE, that's where you want to go, right?
Yes, yeah.
When you get into WWE,
I'll see you, Triple H.
would you wrestle in these shoes? Like this?
Definitely, yeah. That was a big plan of mine.
I love it.
It got to me too. It inspired me too, because I bought these shoes and then I went to go eat at Chipotle. There's not free advertising Chipotle, but you guys make some good food.
I love Chipotle.
So I was eating at Chipotle, and then I took out one of the pairs and I was just admiring the shoe. I was just like looking at it, right? Because I was so happy that I just won my first ever raffle, and it was a pair of Yeezys. So that was like a miracle for me. And then this stranger came over to me, and then he congratulated me on winning this sneakers, right? And then I said, thank you, like I appreciate it, right? And then after like I was getting close to finishing my meal, which is very respectful of him to do, not bother like anyone while you're eating, right? He then proceeded to ask me that what these like sneakers were, because he didn't know about them. And then the funny thing is, the biggest coincidence is that that was the first day that he listened to Kanye West.
What do you mean, like a music?
Yeah, to his music.
How did he listen to Kanye West music?
I don't know where he found him, but then he's like, today, this was the first time that I ever listened to Kanye West, and I just found out that he made sneakers.
Wow.
So then I felt like it was my responsibility to show him what the sneaker culture really is and what these sneakers are and everything about them. So I shared the market, I shared what happens when you walk out with these kind of shoes, and the look on his face was just like a miracle, it's like it was sort of meant to be for him in a way.
What happens when you walk out with these shoes? That's what actually I'm curious because I see a lot of people wear it, but I wear a pair too. Like I wear the NMDs. But what happens when you walk up, or do people look at you, or like?
It's crazy because everyone looks. It's like a phenomenon, sort of. It's just like, it's something I've never seen. No one's ever seen before. Just for a pair of shoes, right? It's just something amazing. Everyone will look and stare. Like I said, somebody offered me $700 right when I walked out of Foot Locker. Sorry. Right when I walked out of Foot Locker, somebody offered me $700 for these shoes. $700 when I bought them for $330, and I declined to.
So how much are you gonna resell these for?
Honestly, this is my first pair ever that I won for a raffle, and I really want to keep them. So
you're gonna put them in like a Deadstock trophy collection.
Yeah, it's really sentimental for me. So I'm a really sentimental guy. So
respect that. Oh my gosh. What about you? Just plug yourself. Like you're doing pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Do you want any support from the audience here? My all 67 subscribers.
I'm trying to make it independently, so I'm an independent athlete. I take the time to better myself every day, gain the knowledge and experience, and I help others through my outlet, through what I do, and I want everybody to succeed and do what they love to do every day and be who they want to be in the future. So I feel that's a big part of what I'm going to do in the future, and like Kanye West has inspired me to do so.
Awesome. Thank you, Haris.
Thank you, man.
Haris Hakeem, this guy.
Haris and Sima. Woo!
See you in the next episode.
Wait a second. It's so quiet, man. I fucking hate quiet shit.
I love when it's quiet. Nice and quiet.
I guess I'm just so used to loudness.
Actually, this is why I love living in the city, especially like being downtown. Is I actually like the traffic. I like it's fucked up. I like sirens. You know the sound of sirens? I love it. I love when I hear sirens. I used to sleep. This was back in I think my first year of college. I slept with a soundtrack for a city sounds. So there'd be like rain. There'd be like
I know what you mean
glass.
by rain.
Yeah.
Rain is one big one.
And then like sirens, and you hear like cars, like cabs, like honking. I don't know. It just relaxes me.
Is that just recording the whole time?
It is.
Okay,
Yeah.
dope.
I love noise pollution.